In this video, I will demonstrate the installation of the 2020 Subaru Outback Autostop Eliminator. This device utilizes the connection to the stereo camera above the rearview mirror. The lenses of the camera are very sensitive, so you must avoid touching the lenses. In this video, my fingers get close to the lenses, but they do not touch. If you touch the lenses, it can ruin the camera. With that out of the way, let's get started. We begin by opening the overhead sunglasses compartment and removing the two 8mm bolts. While I finish removing these bolts, I'll go ahead and mention that for the next step, you'll want to make sure your hands are very clean. It's common to have oil on hand tools, so once the bolts are removed, you may want to wash and dry your hands or put on a pair of clean gloves. Otherwise, you may leave fingerprints on the headliner. Here are the locations of the 4 clips holding the cover assembly. The idea is to pull straight down on the clips in the rear and work to the front of the car, letting the cover assembly hinge near the front. Once the clips are released, the cover is to be moved forward slightly to clear the cameras before lowering. In this case, the second row of clips released at the same time as the rear clips, which isn't ideal, but it got the job done. The cover is lightweight, so we'll just let it hang for the next step. Press the release tab on the connector and gently pull the connector to disconnect it from the stereo camera. Do not pull the wires. If the connector seems stuck, make sure you are pressing the release tab enough to clear the latch. If that doesn't work, a small flat screwdriver can be used to separate the connector from the camera assembly. Of course, if you use a screwdriver, remember to hold the latch and be very careful. With the screwdriver, the connector should release effortlessly. If it doesn't, investigate the cause. Don't force it. For the next part, the sequence is very important. If you change the sequence, the device wires or connectors may not have proper clearance for the cover to be reinstalled. First, plug the vehicle harness into the Autostop Eliminator. Next, feed that connector along with the wires into the cavity between the stereo camera and the windshield. We'll follow that with the device module, being careful to position the module just above the right camera. Now we'll plug the Autostop Eliminator device into the camera assembly and adjust the wires for clearance with the cover assembly. To prevent the device module from rattling, we'll secure it using a zip tie. Once secured, use a small pair of cutters to remove the excess from the zip tie. The cover assembly installation is the opposite of the removal. We start in the front, ensuring the cover is positioned correctly around the cameras, then push upward on the rear portion of the cover to secure the clips. Before installing the bolts, make sure the cover fits flush and is not in a bind. If it's sagging on the passenger side, then there is most likely a clearance issue with the wires of the device that may require slight adjustment. Once everything looks good, reinstall the two 8mm bolts and close the sunglasses compartment. Now that we have the device installed, the off setting for auto start stop will be remembered and automatically restored. To demonstrate this functionality, I'll start the vehicle and use the touchscreen to turn auto start stop off. After turning auto start stop off, the device will automatically restore the off setting after each ignition cycle. If we turn auto start stop back on and then restart, we'll see the on setting is also maintained. For the sake of demonstration, we'll turn the auto start-stop back off and then cycle the ignition once more. It's that easy to keep auto start-stop disabled on your Subaru Outback.